All right, well, thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to give you a tour of the inside of my truck. I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. With just doing the filming myself, it's kind of hard to really get good angles of it, so some of it I'm probably going to just kind of like film and then kind of move some stuff and film it again. That way I can kind of show you what everything does. So so to start, my truck is a 2020 Freightliner Cascadia. It's got 117,000 miles on it. This truck had 105,000 miles on it whenever I got in it, so I've put about 12,000 miles on this truck so far, and I've been in this truck since the first week of December, something like that. So so I've been running around a little bit. This truck has an automatic transmission, but it's actually referred to as an automated manual, and what that does is it gives you the option, kind of like in your car. A lot of cars and trucks nowadays, you have the option to be like in standard drive, or you can shift a little thing, your shifter over, and go 1 2 3 4 on your own. It's kind of similar with the truck. There's a little knob next to the steering wheel, and if you want, you can shift through the gears yourself, or you can just let the truck do it. And the truck does it. It's very similar to how it would be if you were actually driving a manual transmission and you had to shift. You can put your foot to the floor and it's only going to go as fast as it needs to get up, first gear to second gear, third gear. This is a 12-speed automated manual. So when you're light, you're not loaded, or you got a light load, it'll skip a couple gears. It'll go from 2 to 4, to 6 to 8 to 10. It's not going to go through every gear because it's not really necessary. Now, if you're climbing a hill and you got a load, it'll downshift on its own, or that's another time where if you wanted to shift it, you could just select the manual option and you could go through the gears, going up and down mountains and coming down the other side of them. So this truck also has a 400 horsepower engine. Not super huge, but it does just fine. I've never had any issues with it. I've already been up through Pennsylvania, down through eastern Tennessee and Georgia, going through the mountains over there. I've never had no trouble with it. Between the 400 horsepower and the automated manual transmission, and the truck being governed at 65 miles an hour, meaning that's all the faster I can go, it gets really good fuel economy, really good gas mileage. I average at least around 8 miles a gallon, and I know that sounds crazy when you think of what your car gets, but for a semi, that's pretty good. And I can do better if I'm light, or if I'm empty and I'm going anywhere. I'll get closer to 10 miles to the gallon. I've got two 100-gallon diesel tanks on this truck, so when I fill up, I have roughly right at 200 gallons. It's probably more like 190, just because of the way where the gas lids are on the tanks are kind of off the side, so you don't actually get, you can't actually fill them all the way up. So they say to really only account for about 95%. So I've probably got about 190 gallons. Like last week, when I filled up on last Friday, I think I put 130 gallons in, and I drove roughly 1,100 miles or so. So it gets, and I still had room to go, but I was at a point where I needed to just get fuel. There was no reason to really go any further without getting any. So with this truck also, when you have the cruise control set at 65 miles an hour, or whatever speed you're going, but let's just say you're going on the interstate 65 miles an hour, it has what's called driver assistance. And what that does is the truck can read the traffic in front of you, and it knows, it'll tell you how fast the car in front of you is going. So let's say you're coming up on a car that's only going 60 miles an hour down the interstate, and you're doing 65. Well, your truck's going to recognize that, and it's going to start actually slowing you down. Now, this feature only works if you've got the cruise control set. It'll still tell you that you're coming up on this car, but it's not going to slow you down because you don't have the cruise control set, so you technically are working the throttle yourself. So with the cruise control set, you know, it will slow you down. It'll keep you 3.5 to 4 seconds behind the car or truck or whatever is in front of you. And it will, I mean, this truck will bring you to a stop if it, you know, sees that that's what needs to happen, and you know, you're not paying attention or something. You know, I mean, there's a lot of drivers out there that aren't. You know, pass drivers all the time, and they're on their cell phones or messing with their GPSs. So I mean, I don't mind this feature at all. I've watched some videos where some guys, you know, they kind of were like, you know, they didn't really like it that much. But I mean, I have no complaints. I really like it. You know, with the controls on the steering wheel, and I'll show you those here in a minute. I can pretty much control everything in the truck, the radio, you know, the lights, the dash, I mean, everything from the steering wheel. So, you know, I really don't have to even, you know, I don't have to reach to touch anything. My GPS is set up on voice command. So, I mean, I really don't have, you know, my phone has a place. So, I mean, everything I can do, you know, without taking my hands off the wheel. So, I really like that. I've always tried to be, you know, as safe as I possibly can in anything I've done. Even when I worked in oil and gas, you know, we had safety meetings. You know, I made sure to always have something to highlight. You know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being safe. So that's how we all get home at the end of the day. So I'm gonna kind of show you around. I'm gonna just take some still photos and kind of do some short videos to kind of put together, just to kind of show you everything. But also, before I do that, so this truck has an 1800 watt power inverter, meaning like I can have, you know, I have a microwave, I have a TV, I have a coffee maker. All that stuff is running off the inverter whenever the truck's not running. So like right now, I'm just sitting here, truck's not running, all my appliances and everything are still on, so that runs off your inverter. The truck also has an APU, or it's called auxiliary power unit, and what that does is, like, when you're parked for the night, you can be just like this. You don't have to have the truck on. Your APU can run your bunk as far as like your heating and your cooling, and that runs off the batteries on the truck. So it does draw from the batteries, but you can have the truck set up to where you can basically tell the truck when you park at night. You have a couple options on the electronic dash, and you know, you can tell it, hey, you know, we're parked for the night. So it'll let those batteries get to a certain level, and then the truck will automatically start on its own. It'll run for however long it needs to you know, recharge those batteries. I mean, it's usually 30-45 minutes at most, and then the truck will shut itself back off. And you know, that's really it. And you know, it doesn't do it a lot. I mean, I can, on a 10-hour break, it usually doesn't start up until about 8 hours after my break. So I mean, I'm usually right before I get up, usually, or even sometimes when I get up, it'll still be running, but it won't be much longer, and it'll shut itself off. So it's not like it's constantly starting and stopping, starting and stopping. I mean, it can go pretty good ways. Now, that is if you have good batteries, and with this being a 2020, the batteries are still pretty good. So you know, I can pretty much go all night without the truck having to idle. So, and I can still have my heating and cooling, whatever I need. So so I'll kind of show you around the interior. I do have a video that I'm going to put in with this that I filmed the other day of kind of how the bunk area works, as far as, you know, the bed coming down. This is what's called a condo sleeper. Freightliner started making these in 2018, so it's a little bit bigger than some of the other ones. But so I'll kind of show you how all that stuff kind of comes together and kind of makes it look like a little home. So stay tuned. I'm not really sure how long my phone's going to stay where I've got it, but to get the bed to come down, there's a little lever underneath here, and this actually will slide back. So that slides back. Pull this lever out, so that collapses. Each one of these seats has a little lever you pull. That one comes down. This one comes down also. I'm going to turn this off for just a minute. So now there's a handle down here you just pull, and then your bed will release, and then it just comes on down. And now you've got your bed. I have a little I don't know what this is, an inch and a half memory foam thing. This sheet, I'm not sure it was on here, So I just left it on there. I put this on top of there, and then I've got my sheets and covers and stuff like that that I put on here. And even when this is down, this ladder, you can still get this ladder down, you know, and you could put it down if you needed to. And it just latches right back into place. And then same thing, whenever you're ready to put this thing away, you just pull this handle down here, and it just folds right up. And kind of the same thing as up there. There's some locking mechanisms on each side. And all I do is I just kind of put this up, give it a good little push, make sure it's locked in there. And then I can put my table back up, and we're good to go. So that's how this the Freightliner condo sleeper is set up. They started making these in like 2018. The 2017s are very similar. The only thing the 2017s don't do is they don't have the table and the seats. It just has the bed. But this, you know, the size, the refrigerator, the spot for the microwave is a little bit different. But when in 2018 they started making them like this, and they've been making them like this ever since. And at Siedhoff, this is what all their trucks are. All their trucks are the Freightliner condo sleepers. So they have a few 17s that are on their lot. I think they're kind of in the process of phasing those out. But everything else, they have 18s, 19s, 20s, and 2021 trucks, and they're all identical. So, but I really like it. I mean, it's very comfortable. You definitely don't feel like you're, you know, sleeping in a small box or anything like that. So, try to get a couple other things here, but I mean, for the most part, that's really kind of. All right, so starting here, kind of like what I was talking about with the controls on the steering wheel. You got where you can set your cruise control. You can you know, take and end phone calls. You can actually hook up your phone through the Bluetooth radio. I don't use it though. It does have a speaker, you know, like a microphone, if you want to use it like that. And some other controls over here, and then everything on your dash. Like I said, and you know, using the steering wheel, you pretty much can control everything. And so on this side, this is the this is your drive, and then your reverse. You just flip these forward and backward wherever you want to do. And then also your manual and automatic. Like, you know, when it's in this position, you know, it's always an automatic. And if you want to go to manual, you just push that in, and then you can pull this forward or push it backwards, and it'll shift itself through the gears. Other sides, just your turn indicators and the windshield wipers. So moving over to here is my cell phone holder, and then this is my ELD. We use PeopleNet. This is my electronic logging device. It just kind of tells you how many hours you have in the day to drive, how many hours left on your total day overall, and what you'll have tomorrow whenever you get to the end of your day. All of your dash controls, all of your lights and everything, brakes, it's all down there. Heating and air pressure gauges. Kind of coming up here, you got, you know, the CB. I have one. I don't use it very much. I just kind of use it to listen for traffic. My GPS is a Garmin Diesel 780. I really like that one. That's my pre-pass Elite Pass. That is for my pre-pass. It's for when I'm, you know, if you're going down the interstate and you're going by scales, it'll give you a green light or a red light. Green meaning you can keep on going. Red, you'll have to pull in. The Elite Pass side of it is for any kind of toll roads. It automatically, you know, takes it out of their account. You don't have to stop and pay tolls. In the very middle there, that is kind of like the brains of the operation when it comes to the driver assist. That's what looks forward and sees all the traffic, kind of like what I was talking about. And that right there is the Lytx drive cam. That is a forward-facing and rear-facing camera. It's constantly forward-facing. It's always recorded forward-facing, just in case there's, you know, you can always call them and say, hey, you know, grab this audio, or grab this not audio but video, and they can take it and look at it and see if there's something they need to look at. Anytime there's a G-force event, like you make a sharp turn, or you brake hard, or somebody hits you, then it records both sides, inside and out. It can actually go back in memory and pull the last 8 seconds before the event, so they can see what you were doing leading up to it, to make sure it wasn't your fault. But those cameras are always rolling, so just keep that in mind. If you're ever in an accident and the truck itself's not even involved, and he stops, there's a pretty good chance he's probably got a video of it, so it may help you out. And then there's some spots above the driver's side, the passenger side, where you can have stuff. There's a cubby that runs all the way across the top. I've got my Atlas up there, and some spare little trash bags. There's a compartment here above the driver's side door. I got some eating stuff in there, and then I've got some food on this side also. When you come back here into the sleeper, I got some food up there in that one. You come down, you can kind of see my microwave there. Underneath that is my coffee maker, my TV. It actually comes out, and it can be adjusted, so when you're sitting back here in the sleeper area, you can watch TV. Below that, there's a drawer. I just keep my utensils in there, and some drink packets, lemonade. And underneath that is the refrigerator. So it ain't super big, but I mean, it works. There's a little freezer compartment there, so I mean, it does good for me. And then this is kind of the sleeper area, with the bench, the table, and the 2 seats, which you already saw how that contraption works. And up there is where I keep all my blankets and stuff. And I keep all that stuff up there because when that bed is up, there's not much room, so I have to take my blankets off in order for it to actually latch and stay up there. So I just throw them up there on the top bunk. Other side, I kind of got some cleaning stuff, personal hygiene, and then like some office supply type stuff. And then right below that is my closet, which I'm going to eventually do something different with this, because I don't necessarily have to have my shirts hung up. I saw a video on YouTube where a guy had taken some of these, a little bit bigger ones, and kind of put them in here, put them in this area, and kind of help with organization. So I think I may end up doing something like that. And then just kind of down below, which is a place I could put my shirts and stuff. It's just socks and shorts and drawers, all the good stuff. Gotta have a trash can in here. Try to keep the interior as clean as I can. I like to be able to kind of just relax. Keep my shoes down there for whenever I'm driving, or sometimes I don't wear shoes when I'm driving. Just really depends. I mean, and that's pretty much it. I can actually access underneath this seat, lift this up, and this gets you into like where my toolboxes and stuff are, which I can also get to that from the outside of the truck. Also, there's a little small door on each side, and both sides do that. So I think that's really pretty much it. Keep a couple coats over here. Got my safety vest whenever I'm out and about walking around the truck, that way I don't get run over or hit. So, but that concludes this. So if anybody has any questions or wants to see anything else, let me know. Alright, so thanks for watching this video. It kind of ran a little bit longer than I intended to, and I kind of try to play this stuff out in my head a little bit while I'm driving, kind of what I want to say and how I want to do it, and then when I turn the camera on, it usually never goes according to plan. But thanks for watching, and I hope you guys liked this video. If there's anything else you guys want to know, any other questions, please feel free. I'm gonna try to do like one video a week. I'm already figuring out that it's taking up more of my time than I wanted it to. But I don't intend to make videos this long either. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and check back later for more. Thanks.